Hello, welcome to this Business Coach Kit systemisation training. We're going to cover what systemisation is. So in this session, we're going to describe the target market for systemisation, the way systemisation helps business owners, the 4 elements of systemisation, and the key techniques used to systemise a business. So our target market is what's called trapped owners. These people have grown the business successfully to a certain level, but that growth is now getting more and more difficult to sustain, and their stress levels and frustration levels are going up accordingly. Typically this happens between 5 and 20 employees, and obviously we're looking at owner managers as the people that we want to help. So they'll be experiencing stalled growth, or they may be struggling to deal with continued growth, so that the quality of their outputs and the amount of time they're having to spend are suffering. They're turning into the bottleneck. The business owner is the bottleneck, so they don't know how to delegate work. This comes through as staff sometimes being seen as more of a hindrance than a help. Not really being accountable for results. And often they can see they need more staff to continue to grow, but they're hesitating over making that decision because more staff just seems to add to the general chaos. To help them through this problem, systemisation focuses on 4 problems or barriers. First is their mindset, the mindset of our client. Second is purpose, having to articulate purpose clearly, which they probably haven't done in the past. Third is systemisation itself, so procedures, structures, measurements, and processes. Finally, staff engagement, so it's about productivity and getting more efficient use of the people you have. So start with the mindset problem. They've probably got to where they are by being very good at what they do technically, whether that's a lawyer or a website developer or a house painter. So they rely on themselves, and they feel very strongly that they need to control everything and direct what other people do. To break out of that, they need to get to a place where their pride transfers to their building their business rather than the technical outputs of the business. They need to find a way to rely on others, to let go, and to enable others to perform. So this is the mindset barrier, if you like. So we need to work with them on that barrier. And the kind of platform of this is to say that 2 things are necessary for a business to become scalable, to grow past this trapped condition. Firstly, someone wants to buy what the business sells. I mean, more or less take that as read, because we deal with businesses that have successfully grown, so clearly there's a market for what they're selling. But the second thing is the area we focus on is organisation, really. The business needs to be organised to deliver increasing amounts of whatever it is they sell, rather than just being a kind of fragile extension of one person doing everything, making all the decisions. And that change is systemisation. So the mindset they need to develop is that they have to find a way to get things done to other people. And to do this, both they and their employees need to know these 4 things. What are we trying to achieve? Who is responsible for doing what? When do things need to be done? And how do we do it to achieve the desired result? So this is a systemisation roadmap. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail in this video. There's another video on the actual roadmap and use of the roadmap in systemisation coaching. But briefly, you can see it has those 4 questioned areas: what, who, when, and how. And it has 14 deliverables or changes or techniques that you will use to help your clients through this systemisation process. And in terms of mindset, whilst the mindset applies to the whole model, the whole change requires this mindset change. Probably the 2 places that it would be usual to start with your client would be vision statement and delegation plan. So going back to our systemization barriers model, the second barrier is purpose. So businesses can get to a certain size without really articulating or being explicit about why they exist or what they're trying to do. So they have few clients, it's lots of word of mouth based on existing relationships, and their strategy doesn't exist really. They kind of instinctively react to what's going on. There's an implicit direction. To break out of that, to become systemized, they need an explicit strategy which works for lots of clients, people they don't know already. They need to be clear about their market, the customer's proposition, and how they communicate that. So there's a purpose barrier. And coming back to our systemization roadmap, the thing we use to coach our clients, the what area is clearly really about this: the vision statement, marketing story, and one-page strategy. These are the areas where we're focusing on helping our client develop a clear or communicate a clear purpose to their staff. Third barrier is called the systemization barrier or systemization problem. You can get to a certain size, clients can get to this trapped position just really by doing things instinctively. Nothing's written down, no processes or standards. A few people know how to make it work. The problem with that is it can be inconsistent, particularly under load. So as the business grows, quality suffers, and you get different kind of results on different days of the week. So you need to make it repeatable, which requires processes, systems, quality measures or measures of any kind, and documented processes that are open to everybody to understand. So here's our systemization barrier. And this is our when and how areas. So the when is when do we need to achieve these sales? When do we need to deliver X? What kind of marketing needs to happen when? So it's about the plan really. The business plan and its constituent parts, and the how is how do we do things. So it's the owner's manual for the business. How do we make sure that the product is the right quality, delivered at the right time to the right place, and that we get paid for it? These kind of things. We also introduce things like key performance indicators here. So there's another video on that, but what we call the live plan, which is our KPI sheet, which is the way our systemized business is controlled through these monthly review meetings. Okay, the final barrier is engagement, which is staff, really, employees. So small business, few staff, people muck in, there's an implicit purpose. It's around personal relationships, there's little or no structure, and unfortunately little or no accountability. Every problem is the boss's problem. Not because they're bad people, but because that's just the way the business has evolved. What I need to get to, clearly there will be more staff, so recruitment becomes a kind of regular process. But people are following task and process definitions to achieve an explicit purpose. The relationships are based far more upon measurement of results and accountability. So there's our engagement problem. And this is the who part of the systemization roadmap. The delegation plan, mentioned it before, is really around the mindset of the business owner. But the org chart, job description, and objectives are about making it clear to employees, agreeing with employees, who's responsible for what and what good looks like. So in summary, systemization targets business owners who become the bottleneck in their business, and this is usually between 5 and 20 employees, not always, but typically. And our systemization model uses 4 barriers to help business owners think about their breaking out from this trap condition. So we look at mindset, purpose, systemization, and engagement. And we use the same few techniques to help every client. So the systemization roadmap provides a framework for you to do this. And the actual guides and templates on how to create a vision statement, how to create a business plan, those are included in the coaching system component of Business Coach Kit. Okay, that's it.